What's going on, guys? It's Will Blendon. What is going on today, guys? I got a very nice email, and it's going to go into what I want to talk about anyway, from a JS. And JS, I want to say congratulations for finally taking the steps to setting up your holding company. So he's on his way. He had quite a few questions about how to go about actually setting up his holding company, and he had questions about Wyoming and how to structure everything where he could purchase a piece of property and put it under a LLC, how to go about that as far as putting it under the holding company. He had a lot of questions, and I want to apologize, JS, but I can't really just give you all the nuggets for absolutely free. That's what the channel's for. So you gotta watch the channel to get the free information. You know, the minute you start calling me up and I give all the way to gems, I lose my leverage, so I can't make any money. So I hope you understand that. But I do give a lot of good information here on the channel. Actually, we're gonna go in and basically talk about how he should go structure his holding company and set up himself to hold real estate. Disclaimer: I am not a professional, so I am not an accountant or a CPA. I'm just an ordinary guy like you that learn this stuff over time from other individuals like real estate attorneys, CPAs. I probably know more than some of your local CPAs, and as far as the setup is concerned, but that's only because a lot of these small CPAs and accountants don't actually deal with people that want to go to the next level. They just, on a day-to-day, they deal with people that want to set up a simple LLC to conduct a operating company. So with that being said, we're going to go into the structure and what he was asking me. He already had some businesses going, as far as I understand. I think he said he had an actual business going, so that's good. He's got a little real revenue. He's got a little bit of money to spend to do the setup, which I applaud you, because that's like 80% of the battle. If you got the funds to get started, that's going to give you a big jump start into getting all this done faster. Basically, if you haven't already, in his situation, he wants to own real estate, and the safest way to own real estate is obviously not directly in your name if you're going to be renting this place out. I believe you shouldn't even own your own personal home in your own name. I believe at the very least your personal home should be in a living trust situation or a land trust situation where the land trust actually owns your personal property, and then you can put all this into your living trust. You got to have layers, in my opinion. And a lot of these mortgage companies, even if you're financing, they will allow you to close the deal under the name of a trust. But let me backtrack. I believe if he hasn't already done this, he should go in and set up a holding company like I did in the state of Wyoming. The reason why I did that is for anonymity. They don't release personal information about like who the actual owner of the company is. And in my opinion, anyway, the purpose of the holding company is to hold assets and also manage small baby companies, as well as shield the owner from lawsuits. That last part I added in. I believe the purpose of the holding company is to shield the owner from future lawsuits that may happen or may occur. Even if they don't occur, you feel good knowing you have that extra layer, and you can sleep good at night. At least I can, knowing that. So what I suggest, he set up his holding company in the state of Wyoming. maybe you need to consult a CPA on what type of tax election you should take. A lot of CPAs will say the partnership is best as far as shielding you from real estate issues. So they suggest you set up an LLC holding company as a partnership. I didn't go that route. For whatever reasons, again, you could consult a CPA. I chose to go with the S Corp election because I'm a sole owner, and that's going to give me the biggest tax savings in my particular situation. Everybody's situation may be different, but later I will be setting up a partnership holding company, and I will be a partner, and my current holding company will be a partner in that holding company, and I will be set up in Delaware, but for the reasons that I'm going to be getting into bigger forms of property. You don't need to do all this now, but when you start really getting to the real estate game where you're dealing into, I would say, commercial property, once you get to that commercial property level, you set up a holding company in Delaware as a partnership for tax reasons. It's going to not show how many properties on when you do your taxes you actually have. That's the reasons for it. But back to my original holding company, I chose the S Corp elections to save the most in taxes. In Wyoming, I chose Navy Federal Credit Union, the biggest credit union in the country, to be my holding company account. Now in the future, when I start setting up baby companies, I will probably use a fintech bank. So he has his corporation set up. I chose a traditional S Corp. I didn't choose the LLC with the S Corp election. I set up originally a C Corp, converted it to a S Corp. Something about that ink. I just like that ink on my holding company. But all my future baby companies will be LLCs for that pass-through tax strategy. What he would do now, he's ready to go buy a property. He has his S Corp set up, his S Corp holding company set up in Wyoming for asset protection, and anonymity. He will then go set up a LLC, which can be a pass-through entity so he can save on his taxes. He will set that up with the specific reason in mind, the whole real estate. So now he has that set up. Then he would go purchase the property. If he's smart, he won't purchase. He could finance, but don't close on the property in his own name. I would close under a land trust, and then have the beneficiary, the LLC. So he has layers, different names on all this stuff. Now his holding company owns the LLC. The LLC kind of owns the land trust that is on the property when he closes. This is going to protect him for the average lawsuit that may occur from when he's renting the property. Again, consult a CPA. I am not a financial professional. I'm just teaching you what I've learned. This is for entertainment purposes only. You could choose to listen or not listen, but these tax advantages are amazing and they're going to change my life. So that is what JS should do. I've got access to companies that you can use your virtual address, your virtual 1-800 number, but I am going to charge a fee for that information. I have to make money. So I hope you guys don't take that personally, but if you want detailed information about what companies to use to get this stuff set up, you have to hit me in the comments by email, and then we can converse further, maybe over the phone, possibly not. But there will be a fee for the real detailed information. But again, congratulations to JS on at least getting closer. He's a lot further than a lot of you guys. He's got, I think he said he had secured business line and Wells Fargo. He had some things going. So he's going to be all right. He's just got to get the companies, the exact companies to go to work with. That's really what he's asking. But he's on his way. And I'm on the way. I'm at the point where they're almost ready to start deploying some lines of business credit. The holding company set up, the virtual office set up. I got the virtual 1-800 number set up. I'm basically just waiting for them to start applying for lines of corporate credit. No PG corporate credit is what I'm waiting for them to begin applying for and deploying. Once they've done that, I am a lot further to my ultimate goal. By 2021, my ultimate goal in 2021 is to actually have an operating company bringing me in enough revenue so I don't even have to deploy lines of credit except for maybe like repairs to the property. I should have enough money to put down on a piece of property, 2 to 3 family, even if I got to put 10% down, and only use corporate credit on repairs, if at all. That's my goal. Whether or not I choose to move in that property is still up in the air. I'm not so final on that. If things go well, I'm in the Bristol area. I'm renting a place. If things go well, I will stay in that place and just rent out all 2 or all 3 levels of the property. And I still will get free rent because some portion of that money will cover my rent. So it's still like I have free rent. Or I just may move into the property and just, you never tell your tenants that you are the owner. I will go in if I live on the property as a property manager. Absolutely never tell your tenants you are the owner, because they will be harassing you to death. If you go in as a property manager, you can kind of be like, well, it's my boss, I'm sorry, you know, and just agree with them when they talk junk about them. And definitely have a structure set up to take the money. Usually, I would say it's okay to take the money in the name of the LLC, especially if you closed on the property under a land trust. You know, so let them send the money directly to the LLC. The LLC sends the money up to your holding company. And I believe if you're a single member owner, you only take money from your holding company, meaning you get a paycheck from your holding company. You don't need a paycheck from every LLC. It's really not necessary. A lot of people want to know, should you structure a LLC for every single property? I'm going to say no. I'm going to say that's way too expensive. You're going to be spending money way unnecessarily. Unless you are like cranking these properties out, which you should be going to the Delaware holding company strategy if you're getting more than 3 unit properties. Then I say go set up a Delaware holding company, and you can even have a partnership like I'm doing, where your holding company now is a partner with you on the Delaware holding company. And then under that structure, you would start buying commercial properties, you know, the lot bigger properties. But if you're just starting out, the single member holding company works fine. I say again, I would set up an LLC per state if you're just starting out. So if you got one piece of property, and say in Connecticut, and then you buy another piece of property in Connecticut. You can have both of those pieces of property under land trust and in the name of your LLC, the same LLC. You know, possibly even 3 properties. But I would do per state. So if I bought my first property in Connecticut and I went over to Mass, bought another piece of property, I would set up a new LLC. That's how I'm recommending it. I wouldn't say more than 3 properties, depending on the equity and any one giving. And I would have separate land trusts. I didn't mention that. So for every piece of property, I would probably set up a separate land trust, but you can have the land trust under that one LLC. So you got 3 pieces of property in Connecticut, all 3 different land trusts. All 3 of those, the beneficiary of the land trust will be your LLC, your Connecticut LLC. Sorry about that glare. Let me see if I can fix that. Okay. So that's what I recommend. This is what I recommend JC does in his corporate setup. Hopefully you're watching, JC, because I'm giving you the free things you're looking for. You know, maybe not all the details, but I'm giving you the free setup. Yes, I would have a land trust own the actual property. If you're financing, if you're buying outright, if JC's got enough cash to buy the property outright, just put it straight under the LLC. But if you're financing, do not close in your name. If the bank allows you, close in the name of a land trust. And I got a company that I work with that could set up the land trust for you. But again, I would charge a fee for that information. So that's what I would do. I wouldn't get crazy trying to set up a LLC for every single piece of property. I would do it per state. So if I go out to Florida and I want to buy a piece of property, unless the property is super huge, and again, I will go back to the Delaware holding company strategy. That's for another video, but I'm definitely going to talk about that as well. When you start getting the commercial properties, you don't want to pick Wyoming, and the reason being, they like to see Delaware holding companies for commercial, is what I understand. But I will do a whole nother video on that setup. But I want to thank you guys for your time. Again, JC, congratulations for going on this journey to setting up your holding company and hopefully getting that piece of property closed under an LLC owned by your holding company. If you haven't already, subscribe, like, and comment, and I will see you guys in the next one.